I don't know about you, but ever since FM25 has been cancelled, I've been trying to find the next thing that I'm going to sink my teeth into to scratch that football manager itch. With over 3,500 hours in the last few years alone on Football Manager, when we found out inevitably the game was cancelled, I found myself rattling around trying to work out what am I going to do with myself. And I think I found the solution. And that solution is Play MFL. And here it is. Here is Play MFL, the online football manager simulation game. Now, what I love about this platform most of all is you can play this game however you wish to do so. If you want to lean into the tactics, lean into individual instructions and try and show your football management nous, you can try and attack it from that front. If you want to be scouting the best youngsters out there that can develop into better and better players, because player progression is a thing, you can do that. If you are looking to find the bargains on the transfer market, the ones that other managers have undervalued, maybe sell them on for more of a profit and roll to grow your club further and further, you can do that. Now, there is an initial bit of investment that needs to be had. You need to invest in a club if you want to compete in the league and the cup competitions. However, you might look at the price and go, ooh, it's a bit steep for me. One thing I would point out, and my rationale when I looked into this, is I would have, $80 is equivalent to just shy of 60 English pounds. I would have probably shelled out the majority of that towards buying the new football management game, and I buy it every single year. This platform rolls on seasons over the course of about 6 to 8 weeks, and then it repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. You do not have to put any further investment into the game if you don't wish to do so upon purchasing a club. The other thing I usually point out and rationalise myself was any other game that I'd buy, any sort of console system, a PS5 game, if you're into Xbox, maybe an Xbox game or even a PC game, is once I've made that initial investment, I'm doing it because, well, I'm going to get the enjoyment out of it. I'm not looking at it as once I've done with it, what can I get back? I've got the enjoyment, that's what I was looking for. What is good about MFL is if you jump on, you buy yourself a club and think, this ain't for me, chief, you can sell it. Same for players, same for clubs. You can sell them on to the secondary market, which is extremely active, and recoup a lot of that initial input. What we're tending to find at the moment in particular is clubs fetch anywhere from around the $60 to $70 mark. If they're in higher league structures, they might be worth a little bit more because they're further up the progression chain. But if you buy yourself a club today, you think it ain't for you, and you look to sell it in the secondary market, you will be able to secure a nice sale and recuperate 80 to 90% of your initial investment anyway. Now, it is worth me acknowledging that all these things are on NFTs and on the Web3 blockchain, but inherently, do you need to know how all those things work and how the system comes together? The answer is, honestly, no. Effectively being on the Web3 blockchain and buying and selling in dollars, it does mean that you know exactly what you're investing in, exactly how much. It's not a secondary currency that's been converted into, as you see with many AAA titles. It is a currency that if you look to sell or make profit on players, you can withdraw that money. It is simply on the Web3 blockchain to enable you to be able to deposit effectively and to withdraw effectively in a secure manner, so that when you are buying and trading on the platform, you know your input is secure, and equally if you want to take it out, you've got that mechanism to do so. What I also love about the platform is the creators, the owners, the developers are very transparent with the community, constantly communicating with us as to the roadmap, what's happening next, what to expect coming into the future, what the next steps are. Unlike certain other football manager creators who have for some reason gone very, very silent. So as I said earlier, a season lasts between 6 to 8 weeks from the start of the transfer window through the registration period. The transfer window comes to its conclusion a few days after the first couple of matches. Once the season starts, there's training every single day. It starts about 9 a.m. in the morning, it concludes around 10 a.m, and it's one of the community's favourite times to log on, go through your entire roster and go, okay, which of the players have got that magical +1 in a single attribute, if not overall, and then Practically every day there is at least one game. Games take place at the same time every single day for league fixtures. The time's slightly different for a cup fixture, but they are consistent. You don't need to be logged on for them. You set all your tactics and your starting 11 in advance, and you're able to then log on live while it's active and watch it live there and then, or equally you can check back later and check in on the result and see how you've got on. So the season has a mid-season transfer window where we stop for 2 days effectively. Training still takes place, but there's no competitive fixtures. Season concludes after about match day 22, there you go. The cup final also takes place around then. I was fortunate to get to a cup final last season. Rewards day concludes at the end of the season. It's a payout for your league position and equally how your performance is in the cup. It's paid with an internal currency called MFL dollars. It's non-withdrawable. It just stays on the site, but you can use it to open player packs and send players off to training camps. And then the promotion and relegation playoff system takes place. But it's a really, really fast-paced, intense season. Before you know it, we're into the off season, and about 2 weeks after that, around 13 days, we're straight into the next season. Now, how do you get players for your club? If you are brand new to MFL, you will have access to the starter packs, arguably one of the better sort of packs you can get at the start of the game. You get 3 to begin with. You get 2 players per pack, and varying different rarity of players. The further down here and all the way down to legendary, the higher rating threshold per category. So you can open those and get yourself started with 6 players in total. There is also the secondary market where other managers can buy and sell their players. Prices can vary wildly up to the thousands for the most rare and most valuable players, but realistically not everyone's gunning for those. And equally there is the lower end of options, but I've been able to prove in many of my other videos there are many bargains out there. Undervalued gems, undervalued players that you can buy and swap and change to keep bankrolling yourself and roll it into better and better players. If you're not looking to invest any further, however, you can make use of the loan market. Now, the loan market is an area where there are players listed that other managers are open to offers on. It's usually predicated on sort of how good your team is, how good your league structure is. If you're lower down the pyramid, you're not likely to get the premier players, same as Arsenal aren't going to be loaning their first team or string players, I guess, down to any League 2 club. Same sort of premise here. There is also the option for auto-accepted loan deals, where a manager has set out what conditions they want to be adhered to, and if you can meet those conditions, you automatically can loan that player in. But I suppose before you go out there and start picking up players, you should know which player should you be targeting and what makes a good player. Now, each player in the game is unique to one another. They do have 6 main attributes, which these are then combined to give them their overall rating. Progression can be achieved through regular training and match experience. Each player does have a maximum overall potential ability, but what this is actually unknown to everyone in the community. Each player is able to progress at differing rates throughout their career. As you can see here, this particular player started out as a 50 rated player. Through the ages of 23 to 24, he progressed up to around the rating of 51, and then had a very rapid progression curve between the ages of 24 and 25, where he's just started to plateau. Now, each player is able to progress at differing rates throughout their career. Players can retire, but you will be given 3 seasons notice that a player is going to retire, so you can plan accordingly. Now, one of the things I love most about MFL is you don't need to be the person with the deepest pockets in order to get ahead. How you go about attacking the game and trying to advance yourself as a club is totally up to you. If you're going to go for those young players and look for the progression, you can do it that way. If you're looking to pick up players towards the end of their career and just get their golden years out of them, you can play it that way. In particular, I like finding the undervalued gems, the players who are very, very good in different positions other than the base version that's on their card. That's something I want to show you a quick example of, actually. So here's an example of a player that I identified through my scouting and transfer target template that this player was a bit of an undervalued gem. He's listed as a CDM. He can play alternative positions. Not every player can, but he also had very good looking stats for the cam role, which is a role that I use in my setup. So using his ID number and going over to one of many supporting sites for MFL is player MFL info, and I put his ID number in. You can search names as well. It gives you sort of some general basic information, a rough estimation on his valuation in the current market based on 3 similar sales at similar age and position. But what I noticed was, when I looked down at his varying roles, if he was deployed at a cam, he goes up +4 overall, giving me that extra edge in the match engine when deploying him at the cam role. Now what I like to do is deploy AI and analysis to give myself that tactical edge in play MFL. I've done loads of videos on the channel already. They're all available now for you to watch if that's of interest to you. But I show you how to deploy AI in tactful ways to give yourself maybe tactic analysis, opposition analysis, and maybe even identify good targets in the transfer market. I've got many videos. I might put 1 or 2 up on screen, so if it's of interest to you, feel free to check those out. Now, one thing I'd like to mention is there is actually no limit to the amount of clubs you can own. I currently have 2 clubs. I've got my main team and I've got my reserve team. In your agency, there is no limit to the amount of players you can own. I'm currently up to 57, split them across the 2 teams. I've got a few players out on loan as well. I've been engaging with other managers on X and Discord and negotiated favourable loan contracts there for both managers. You can use the loan market, as I said before. You can actually list your own players as well, set your own conditions that you're looking for. One thing I did mention earlier was Play MFL dollars. I've used most of mine, but you can use these to purchase player packs. They are of varying rarity. They've introduced a new system where you can target players of a certain rarity but within tighter rating brackets. At the moment, there's no option to target certain specific positions, but that is an option that you can do out there. You'll notice that they have some packs here at the start of the season and at the halfway point of the season, the mid-season break. They do pack drops, which you can purchase with dollars as well, giving you certain odds of different sorts of players, giving you better chances to secure higher rarity players. So if you are wanting to take your chance in them out there with a pack drop, that is an option you can do. You can use Save Your MFL for those times as well. You can also use your MFL, I mentioned it earlier, for the training camps. You can send them to the development centre for up to, I think it's 1 to 4 seasons overall. Then those players will get anywhere from 60 to 80, 100 to 120% of their overall XP during that time period, helping them advance and their overall rating. Now, if you are convinced and want to give MFL a go, the last thing I would recommend is that you do make use of a referral code. Loads of people out there have got referral codes. Mine will be in today's description, but make sure you at least use someone's, because once you do and you sign up through that link and you spend your first $25, so basically the first 3 starter packs, then you will receive an additional common player. Complete transparency, so will I. I'll receive a common player as a reward as well. Hopefully I can start making my way along here and earn more and more, but it doesn't matter if you don't use mine. Don't do yourself out of one extra player to go into your agency. He could be that future gem of a player that you can nurture and develop, or even if he doesn't fit into your roster, your club, your ideals, you can sell him on to the secondary marketplace and invest that money into another player. So if you have stuck around to the end of the video, hopefully you found today's video useful. If you have any questions about Play MFL, feel free to leave a comment down below. Equally, hit me up on any of my socials, Discord or Twitter. They're all linked in today's video description. If you don't mind doing me a massive solid and just leaving a like on this video, I'm really trying hard to grow the channel here. Hit the sub button if you want to find out more information about what I do and how I can support you further on your Play MFL journey. But otherwise, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.